We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Stephen here. Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella, broadcasting from sunny Southern California. Today, I talk again with our senior manager from Land Academy, Erin Spence, to catch up on what matters to our current Land Academy members. Hello, Erin.
Hi.
You know, we just talked right before we turned the cameras on, and I said, you know, is there something special you want to talk about today? And bang, like connections. You came up with it immediately. So I'd love to hear about our members connecting and your thoughts on that today.
Yeah, so part of me thinks we're kind of still riding the high of the live event because people hear about how all of the great connections were made there and see it, see all the people working together. So now, I think there's a little bit of jealousy too of the people who weren't at the live event who, strive for those connections now.
It's funny you say that because I am still working three specific angles and pretty sophisticated, the connections I've made. And I've talked to these guys all the time. It's not like we don't, but the live event seemed to just make it all click. So this isn't like a live event promotional video, but it's worked for me too. So what examples are you seeing?
Well, so this week I've gotten so many messages of people kind of asking, okay, I know we have the deal board, but is that where I should post messages, trying to connect with people? Or like, do you guys have a way that I can, work with other members? And the deal board really is the best place that we have. But it's kind of got me thinking about, if there's a way we could do something else. We have our advanced group has like a group group text. And I don't necessarily want to manage that for all of our members, but yeah, but, I do think that there is another way we could do it, whether it's me posting something on the deal board, being like, come comment here if you want to work with someone else. But people really want to work with other members and see the value in it, but are kind of having trouble making that first connection. I don't know if it's because they maybe don't want to like spam up our deal board or something like that, but people really want to work together. They see the value in it. They do hear you talking about it a lot, which is really helpful too.
You know what baffles me? That as much as we try to launch products, we don't try, we do. We very successfully launch tech products or websites like Land Tank or House Tank, where it's a very specific use product, and which in my opinion, are the easiest and best ones. You have a great deal. You don't exactly have the cash to do it, and you want to find a partner. So you posted a land deal. So you post it on Land Tank, and somebody picks it up. That will never replace, for whatever reason, I guess it's like tribal human nature, where you go in a place like Deal Board, which is basically just a free-for-all. And it's like I remember putting that deal board together in 2015, and I modeled it specifically after like a job board with post-it notes, for where you used to work in 1979. So, and that's still what people want.
It is, absolutely. People love it.
Like a free-form way to say, remember those little flippy things you pull down if you want a free guitar lesson?
Yep, that's true.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to talk to you because it's fascinating for me to find out what gets back to you on the front line for customer service and just talking to the members and stuff. So why do you think this is getting back to you? Is it in the form of a question? Like, how do I do it?
Yeah, it's definitely more in the form of a question. We do sometimes get, people give us positive feedback like, hey, like, thank you for your help. I worked with, so-and-so, and we just closed some crazy deal. So I'm getting some of that too, but it's mostly questions because people are seeing the success and want it to be them. I think it's really people want the lasting connections too. Like, I think Land Tank is great, but we've seen Land Tank slow down a little bit the last couple of weeks. And part of it is because people are, forming connections and working together on all their projects versus, needing the one-off funding. Which, as much as I would love there to be more on Land Tank, it is really cool to see people making these connections, and they're going to be working together forever.
Exactly. So that was the whole intent with Land Tank anyway. You post a couple of deals in the beginning, you find somebody to work with who wants to fund them, and then eventually you don't post them anymore.
Yep, and it's working.
That's great. So what else is going on? Well, you know what? Let's stick with this for a second. What's the solution? I mean, is the solution just to let it free for all go on deal board, or is there some that the tech person in me wants to like make this easier for people? And I wonder if it's just like just let them go at it.
Yeah, I was going to talk to Molly from IT and see if she had any ideas because I mean, I've been telling people that they can go at it and, kind of use the deal board however they want. They don't need to worry about like spamming it up or anything. It's totally fine. But I think people are still kind of like hesitant. And there are also still a lot of wholesale deals going on the deal board. So I think people kind of, as much as I tell them that it's fine and it's meant for that too, I think that they still kind of don't feel like it should be used for that or they don't want to clog it up. So I do kind of think that there could be a way to develop something else to kind of just connect people to working together on bigger deals.
So do you think it's the connection is just deal making, or is it other stuff?
I mean, I think it's other stuff. The people who get to me, it's more about deal making, and going on joint ventures and things. But people want to work together for everything. We have the accountability groups are popping up everywhere too, which I think is really cool. Like the beginners wanting to work together, and I'm sure they'll all grow together.
That's a perfect example of like this organic, third head that grew out of this whole group. Somebody, as I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, somebody got this idea to set up a Facebook group called the Land Academy Accountability Group. And anybody, is it open to the public or is it just for us?
It's private, but they'll let anybody in. You just have to kind of ask.
And so they're holding each other. These are newer people, not advanced people or people that have been around for a couple of years, holding each other accountable to make sure they follow through with, account buying, selling land.
Yeah,
It's
and
like a self-policing thing. I think it's fantastic.
they have like game plans in there. They're creating worksheets for each other. I was in there the other day. They do like their own kind of weekly call just to kind of catch up with each other. I think it's great, and it's something that people had asked us for a while for some kind of accountability group. But with everything else we have going on and the member calls, we kind of didn't think that it was something that we could manage as well as these people can. But yeah, no, they took it and ran with it, and it's great.
Last week on the show, I was talking about this exact thing and describing it just like we are here with Jill. And I said, the whole thing reminds me of Weight Watchers. And she got all mad at me. She's like, why are you talking about Weight Watchers with me? I'm like,
I think it is, yeah.
Nothing to do with you. I'm just saying, like, every Monday, everybody's got to weigh in and, it keeps you in line.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I have to say with my own deals, it took me having a partner to keep me in, moving and doing everything. So I definitely understand it.
I'm going to go in there today and ask if I can be a member. And
you should. It's really cool. They really do have like their own worksheets and things they have going on and goals. It's awesome.
Are there a lot of people in there?
Yeah, it's growing.
Is it I'll go in and find out for myself, but is it like if somebody is watching this or listening to this, what do they look up?
If you search Land Academy Accountability, it'll pop up. I think then you just request, and then one of the guys who runs it will let you in from there. If you have questions, though, you can email support@Land Academy, and I'll find out for sure and make sure we can get people in there too.
Okay, awesome. Anything else going on this week with our members? Anything our members are concerned about before we wrap it up?
Everything has been really positive for the last couple of weeks. I've been kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop because, always like that, but everyone's been really, really great and happy. We've had some new members come on and they're working with some of our more experienced members. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Everyone's just making their own connections, and it's really its own third head. Like you said, it's become its own machine and it runs without us, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. I'm getting a lot of personal requests for the beta version of Car Academy and some other stuff. So that's really what's going on in my world. Land Academy people seem to have found their own way, and it's not that a lot of the questions and comments are not getting to me anymore, which is a really good thing. It tells me we're kind of doing our job as like instructors.
I agree, definitely. I have to tell you, every time you're on a live and you put your personal email out there, I'm over there watching, like, oh, here we go.
When I put my first little email.
Yeah, when you say email me personally and just say it out there.
Oh yeah, actually, I get a lot of email.
I believe it. I was listening, just like, oh, here we go again.
Join us next time for another interesting episode, and we answer your questions posted on our online community, landinvestors.com. It's free. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. The rippling effect, Erin, of this Land Academy, of the live event, it still just blows my mind.
It honestly, yeah. We're gonna put out another survey to get more feedback and hear what people are thinking. But I agree, and it's just across everything. You know, people who aren't even in our world are hearing about it and want to know more.
That's great. The Land Academy Daily Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. Wherever you're watching or listening, please subscribe there. I'm Stephen Butella. Pretty much just information without Jill's inspiration today to buy undervalued property. Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.